It's Fox 44 Sports with Matt Roberts.
I guess it is. That's what everyone else looks at. I watch his practice, boy. I don't see it, but.
Jimbo Fisher having some fun with the coaches poll rankings that came out today with Texas A&M at number 11. Good evening to you. Welcome live outside Kyle Field, where 4 weeks from right now, A&M's going to be winding up their season opener with the Texas State Bobcats, as Jimbo Fisher trying to get year 2 underway here with the Aggies and get that mentality and mindset to take hold. And judging by what we heard today, it certainly has. The number 1 motto for Fisher is good is not good enough. Talking about today's practice, said that there were definitely some good things, but he wasn't certainly over the moon about it. Until the team gets full pads on, he says he wants to see a lot of mental reps. Those mental reps are going to be key for this team. Like he said, as they continue to progress throughout this fall camp, going to have to make those strides and get ready for that opener, because there's still a lot of work left to do.
I thought it was very average. I mean, as far as that, I mean, we'll see execution, and we'll see if it's execution because the other guy's making a play or because we're not doing something right. That's where the film will tell us. It's hard to tell sometimes, always, when you're on the practice field.
I think that we're only going to get better, and had some slip-ups today. Both offense and defense making mistakes, but it's the first day with getting guys adjusted to the offense and defense. So, like I said, we're going to continue to grow, and we'll see where we're at the end of fall camp.
The guy you heard from right there, Kellen Mond, continuing his reign as the Aggies starting quarterback. Last year, Mond, one of the guys in the room. Now he's the guy in the quarterback room, taking control of not only that position, but the offense and the entire team, a role he is very comfortable with 21 starts under his belt, even though he knows his head coach expects a lot from him.
It's a little bit different. Last year I was in a competition, but, at the same time, I'm always going to be competing against myself. And, it's always my job to, try to help the other guys, the guys who aren't as experienced as me in this offense, and make sure they can, continue to grow just like me.
Okay. I mean, like I say, Kellen, I thought could have played better today. I mean, he had a solid day, but I thought he could have played better and done some things. But we'll look at the film at why it happened. I got to look, was it a route? Was it a coverage? Whatever it may be. Was it did we miss something up front or whatever? But we'll look at it and see.
Jimbo notoriously hard on his quarterbacks, as he was when he worked at LSU with current Kansas coach Les Miles. Now, Les spent a lot of time here in College Station last year as his son Ben was a fullback for the Aggies. Now Les has his own stadium in Lawrence, Kansas, trying to bring the Kansas program back to the top. Here's our last look behind enemy lines at the Kansas Jayhawks.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you too, Coach. Welcome back. Glad to be here.
The perennial Big 12 cellar dwellers in football made a big move this offseason to try and climb their way out, bringing in Les Miles and his championship pedigree to Lawrence, Kansas.
Well, congratulations to the LSU Tigers.
After 11-plus seasons at LSU, Miles returns to the Big 12, where he spent 4 years leading the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
But most of the time, let her rip.
Taking them from 4 wins to 9 wins in just 3 seasons.
I think we have a better talent base here at Kansas than I had when I went to Oklahoma State.
Miles, known for a ground and pound attack in his days at LSU, says he doesn't know what the offense will look like in Lawrence, but it will more than likely include a lot more balance.
It doesn't do you any good to say the style of offense you're going to run if you don't have those style of players. I think we'll have the opportunity to throw the football and run the football with balance. I think our talent is there. The Kansas defense will have more continuity than any unit on the team, as former player and longtime assistant Clint Bowen returns to lead the defense in his 6th straight season with the Jayhawks. I know they're going to tackle, I know they're going to block, and I know that they're going to have effort and energy. I now can turn the game plan in calls and make a difference. We all have to commit first that we will play with great effort and energy. Miles built a winner at Oklahoma State, took LSU to new heights, and believes he can work his magic once again in Lawrence to get the Jayhawks back to relevance. We were allowed to recruit to a very significant number at Oklahoma State, recruited very well to start. That's the same thing here. I think that we'll recruit well over time. I think you'll see that this Kansas team is much more talented than their record shows. Kansas will welcome in the Bears to Lawrence on the final week season, Saturday, November 30th.
As I mentioned, Les' son, Ben, a former fullback for Texas A&M, he entered the transfer portal and is now transferring to play with his dad at Kansas. Jimbo Fisher, talking about that earlier today, says that he completely understands wanting to go play for his dad and 100% supports the move. That wraps up my day from here in College Station with the Aggies. Matt Roberts, Fox 44 Sports.